Andra and I were talking after our walk, and we were just trying to figure out if we could tell who was straight and gay. Not by knowing how many there were, but just by saying, okay, well, let's pick a guy. What do you think? It was tough to figure out some of the guys. We just couldn't tell. And of course, I'm not being there anymore. It made it even harder. We couldn't just, ask him any different questions. It was just, from what we know, from what we've experienced, what do you think? And there were some guys that we just couldn't tell. I wasn't convinced, or my values weren't compromised. I still think that monogamy and honesty and faithfulness and loving relationships are what I want. And I'm willing to wait for it, and I'm willing to fight for it, and I'm willing to be single until I find it. I also take from it some really strange confidence. I'm not exactly sure what that is yet. I think being put in this situation with a bunch of people as not conceited, but vying for my attention, I have to just accept that that's how this is, and it's okay to like something in someone and not like something in someone else, and express it. Usually I'm the kind of guy who, oh, it's nice, and I really, even if I'm getting really annoyed or really uncomfortable, I will just kind of let it slide. But I found that now I'm a little more expressive on things that I don't like, but mostly even things I like, saying, I like that, I like this, that's fun. Just being more expressive. The thoughts from the show, having to always talk, that's kind of carried through. I think I'll be more open. I think that's what it is. I'll be more open with just anything, and not be afraid to speak my mind. Of course, not be horribly mean, but just to be more comfortable speaking my mind. And I also think that it's rekindled my belief that there are still good people out there. Not still, but there are good ones. I'm just not finding them. That they're out there, I just have to look for them. And they come in many different sizes and shapes and personalities, and as long as I'm open to it, that I'll find them.
The bottom line is that it wasn't enough for it to be about gay men. And it's about America not being ready for that. And that, for me, is so sad. If nothing comes of this, it will be tragic. And if it had to be this palpable for America to watch, because they wanted to think, wow, it's almost like, let's see if the gay guy can tell the difference, or let's see if the straight girl can tell the difference, when we don't even know we're playing. But if that makes it more palpable for them to watch and see how amazing these gay guys are. And I've been calling them men the whole time because I hate that distinction. I love people for people. I love James. I don't have a closet full of, it's a bad analogy, I don't have a room full of gay best friends. I have one. And the rest, and I have a couple others, but it's not like that's the entire environment I hang out with. I just love him, and he happens to be gay. And I've been saying this the whole time, that was the point we wanted to get across. So if one person is hooked into watching because they want to laugh at us, and in the end they realize how similar we all are, then that's the only thing that can come from this. And I hope my tears and James' tears and all of it has some effect on somebody somewhere, because otherwise they were worth nothing.
What was it like for you to be playing the role or pretending to be gay? Yeah, what was that all like?
It was fun. It was at times frustrating. I know I had a few slip-ups, and I think that definitely cost me. You don't realize how difficult it can be. And like I was explaining to someone, I forget who it was, the irony of the fact that here I'm on a reality show, but I'm acting completely different from how I really am, so how real is it? Even a reference to like babies, or the fact that I'm able to, or my mentality of eventually gonna have a child or reproduce, or I think maybe even getting caught looking at the girls on the set, a couple nice looking blondes out there. I almost felt like I was an imposter the whole time. I was the spoiler, someone who didn't belong there and was nervous at first. Then once I got to know everyone, I felt more comfortable. But something inside me was also saying the deeper we get into this whole thing, the harder it's going to get. Trying to be someone I'm not, trying to trick people, trying to avoid being me. And even little comments that might not resonate with, with a homosexual man, or, just little idiosyncrasies that I can only hide for so long, eventually would have come out. And so, yeah, I'm definitely relieved to be sitting here right now. Perhaps the three of us that had the early exit were three of the X number of people who are not gay. I don't know how many people. I was assuming it was roughly half. I was assuming, let's just say 6 or 7 of us weren't gay. Once I got there, I thought everybody was gay except me. And then as the night wore on, there was 3 or 4 people that I questioned at best, but even still, it's so difficult. I mean, it could really be anyone, and who knows, maybe the people that I really think were the gayest may have been great role players. I mean, how do you tell? So I'm just as excited as everyone else to find out and watch it once it's aired on TV. So.
What was it like when Dan got eliminated for you, when you heard Dan's name called and you knew he was being eliminated?
Yeah, I was sad when Dan left, because that was my buddy. I really liked him, and I didn't want to see him go. And, that was I felt like, as I was watching him walk out the door, I was like, oh, I don't want him to go. It wasn't the same without him there.
What made Dan so special?
He was a great guy. He's fun to hang around with. He's somebody that I instantly could be, friends with. And he has a great personality, and he believes in, a lot of things that I believe in, and we just got along really well.
When you found out that Dan was straight, what was your first sort of reaction?
When I found out, who the straight guys were, I was thinking the whole time, I didn't care that much, but I was thinking in my head, I'm like, please not Dan, please not Dan. And then I heard Dan was one of the straight guys. So I was like, that one person really disappointed me. Because I really liked him, and, I thought, there might have been something there more so than, just a friendship. And then all of a sudden that was, taken away.
Does that mean because there can't be something physical there, that relationship meant nothing, that sort of experience that you had meant nothing? Talk to me about how that even though that physical side isn't there, that there is still something there. Yeah, now that, that there isn't going to be a physical attraction between us, still, what we built as a friendship during the time we were at the house, that's all still there. We're still friends. And, the bond that we created in the house, that didn't go away. We can still be good friends. We still have a connection. When I look for friends, I don't look for people that are necessarily gay or straight. Just look for the person that they are, and the way, if you have a connection with them. To me, it doesn't matter gay or straight. It's still, you get to know them as a person instead of an actual, physical attraction or, something like that. I think Dan and I and a lot of the straight guys will be friends after the show. We all formed a connection there in the house, and just because they're straight doesn't mean that any of that stuff is erased. We still created a bond, and we're all still friends, and I hope that continues outside of the house. I don't have a problem with them at all, and because they're straight, that makes no difference to me. I think we'll definitely